Welcome to the e-commerce growth show, brought to you by Segmentify.
So hello everyone, this is Carlos again with Evolve for another episode of the e-commerce growth show brought to you by Segmentify. And today I have the honor to be joined by Frederik Christiansen, who's the founder and CEO at PriceShape. So Frederik, thanks very much. Before we start, I saw that you used to be a tennis player, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes, yeah.
Maybe we can start from there because I'm also a former tennis player. I played tennis till I was.
Okay, nice.
How old are you? No, sorry.
How old? I'm 29 years old.
Oh, you're very young. I'm 36.
What about you, Carlos?
Yeah, 36. 36.
36. Okay.
And so I stopped playing tennis when I was almost 18 because I had a rare injury. I was about to start playing future tournaments in Brazil. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I discovered life, started going out, and, never went back to tennis. But I think right?
I've never been a pro myself, but in the student time, I got to be an instructor, tennis instructor. Mm-hmm. So I could earn a bit of money on the side. So that was great.
Nice. Yeah. All right, man. Tell me a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur. How did you come about? PriceShape. I saw that you worked at El Gigante as a sales assistant, exactly. Right? So you probably learned a lot of the commerce trade there, and it would be nice to hear your.
So I think always had the dream to build my own company, and actually when I was 17 years old, I started my first company together with my co-founder in PriceShape today, Casper.
Mm-hmm.
And we start selling earpods, headphones. Mm-hmm. We bought it from China, Alibaba at that time. Mm-hmm. And we saw that there was a market for cheap earphones because Apple was just starting to sell their products, and it cost, I think the earpods cost around 300 Danish crown at that time. So if we could buy it for 10 and sell it for 100, and there was a quality like Apple, it could be great. And we started our first Shopify shop and tried to sell on the internet, and try to use the network. And when we had sold 100, we have no more friends to buy from us. So then we tried to sell a lot on the Facebook, and I think that was not the time for us to jump full time in a webshop like that. So we actually sold all our earphones to Søster Grene, that is a retailer here in Denmark, and then we moved on. And then first time I started with the tech was to build a platform where we help buyers of rims and tires to see which products that will fit their cars. So we actually made a platform where you can sell your used rims and tires. And then we also started to make a price comparison site where you can find the cheapest place to buy if you want new tires on the car and so on. So that was the first time that I started in the tech industry and tried to build some platforms. And after that, I tried to also start a company called Recar. I love cars, so it was a company called Recar where we help car buyers to check if the car was on point. So it was a platform. So Carlos, if you want to buy, you just told me that you lived in Odense before the recording, but you told me you lived in Odense, and if you want to buy a car in the neighborhood, maybe of your neighbor or a car dealer close to you, then we can send a mechanic to show and drive it and go around 140 checkpoints to see if the car is okay for you to buy, or give you some points that will give you a good negotiation situation. So so that's something I also started, and in around 2 years ago I sold the company together with my co-founders, and then we started PriceShape. But in Elgin and so on, I learned a lot of our sales, so that was a part-time job for me.
Okay, got it. But I think also the experience you had where you guys used to trade the earbuds, or kind of like had that shop, you saw, you probably started realizing the importance of pricing there, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the genesis or the inception. How did you come about starting PriceShape? Like, and how did you guys start, and why?
Yeah, we was one of my old friends had an idea that he runs Google agencies today with 2 partners, and he told me that it was pretty hard for him to know where he need to allocate his clients' marketing money, and then we came up with the idea if we could just build a tool where we always have tracking on all the clients, or all the our clients competitors, and see where they are good in price, where they are cheap, and where they have a high price, and so on. Then Google agencies could allocate the marketing budget much better, because they can make a campaign that works pretty good last week, because maybe the client was on point on the pricing, but next week the same campaign with the same product, the same amount of marketing spent, was maybe performing the half of what it did the week before. And that's maybe because some of the competitors are running 20% discount on the product, and then of course we cannot sell anything. So that was the idea, and actually we started 5 people in PriceShape, 5 co-founder, and when it got serious, then me and my co-founder today, Kasper, we want to really just start and get full-time in PriceShape. But the 3 other co-founder have agencies besides PriceShape, and then we decided that we took over the company and bought the other out. So and from that point, we started to go to the small web shops and ask if they want to see the competitors' prices. So in the start, they couldn't allocate the marketing budget where they are competitive instead of where they are not. And then we also tried to go to some of the biggest retailers in Denmark. So we got to Sportmaster, that is the biggest sports shop here in Denmark, and eMærko, that is the biggest home shop in Denmark, and asked him, what should we do to make you happy about a tool? Do you want to see your competitors' prices, or do you want something else? And then they told us what to do so they could become a client. And they actually just give us the whole roadmap. And we told them that we can build all this, but then they need to sign that when we have built all this and coded, so they can make dynamic pricing, and they can see price history of their competitors and so on, then they need to pay us to become a client. So we actually sold, we have an MVP product, and then we actually sold a lot of subscriptions and get a lot of clients on board, but they did only pay us if we could do the job and code all the features that they want. And that was the way that we could found and get more developers on the team to build all these features. And now we help nearly all of them here in Denmark, and and we have clients in 13 countries.
That's really an amazing story. I think you touched some very interesting points. So the first one, you said that traditionally retailers and maybe wholesalers as well, they have been relying on Google or like to advertise pricing. My dad is a retailer himself as well, and I think a lot of the marketing budget has traditionally gone to has been spent on Google, right? But that is a problem because if you don't have like a full visibility, well, you're kind of like in the dark on how you're spending
exactly.
right? You're just so that's the first problem you sorted out, right?
Yeah.
Then the second thing, so let's talk about that. How do you I made a question here about the common enemy that retailers face, because that's very interesting. Your motto is turn profit, turn, I forgot.
Turn pricing into profit.
Pricing into profit, right?
Yes, but exactly. Yeah.
Do you see that in other countries of the world, like a lot of retailers are still using their marketing dollars in a way that could be optimized? And and what's the common enemy that, in your opinion, retailers face when it comes to pricing?
Yeah, I think it's a complete overview that a lot is missing, because right now you can be a big player on the market, but we see that 87% of all online purchases is going through a price comparison site. So it's like Google Shopping, there's PriceShape in Denmark, of course Amazon and Idealo in Germany, PriceShape in Norway and Sweden, and so on. It has been so easy for the end customers today to just Google the product and see where is the cheapest place to buy it. And 87% are doing that, and 40% of the 80 of all are willing to buy on a web shop that they never heard about before, because Trustpilot and Google reviews and so on have made it so easy to find out if we can buy off the new web shops. And that means if you are big retailers and you have existed in maybe 20 or 30 years, and you want to price yourself maybe above the market or something like that, you need to know that there is some cheap competitors that can run a lot of different sales. And you don't need to buy PriceShape to be the absolute cheapest at all, but you need to know who is your competitors today, how does they price your product, so you also can use that data to negotiate with your suppliers. So you can call them and ask, if we need to get a lower price and get more sales, we need to match these competitors that is the lowest in the market. And then we do not have the 30% as discussed in profit, we will only have 20. You need to give me some better cost prices. So that's something that you can use the data for. And then of course you can also use it to allocate your marketing spend where you're competitive, instead of where you're maybe 20% higher than your competitors. Then these products you will not get any sales, I think. And then set some optimization up so you can get dynamic pricing if you want, or you can just use your competitors' prices to set the prices manually, so you have a competitive price in the market.
That's really interesting. So you're actually when you're selling, let's say, PriceShape or offering, I mean, it's not only the e-com director, but there's the whole, let's say, chain, the purchasing team also. They can have a competitive advantage, right, when using your tool. To
normally
negotiate.
Normally, we try to tap in all departments in the company, because pricing and competitors data compared to your price position in the market is so important. So the purchase department and the C-level, the e-commerce managers all need to know what is the price position, and if we need to make a campaign, what should the price be, so they can get the data to make the best campaigns. So when you are a client in PriceShape, we have a customer success team that will onboard the different departments. So the purchase department can make users can get users that is personalized. So they only see the data they want to see. Maybe they are category managers and have 10 brands that they need to set prices on or negotiate with the purchase with the suppliers. And maybe you are e-commerce manager, you need to see the whole market and see where you are competitive and set the marketing and focus there. So we type in nearly all departments in a company today. Also the C-level, is they need to know, okay, how many percentages are we competitive on, and who is our biggest competitors, and is there a new competitors that we need to start. And actually all this I just told you about now, we can also help companies that like to expand. So if you want to expand to maybe Germany, then we can give a complete overview of all this data. Who is your biggest competitor? Which product will you be competitive on? What is your price position in the market? Where should you use your marketing budget, and so on? We can do that before our clients enter in a new market, and that's save them for a lot of money, and also decide if they need to enter or they do not have a chance on the market.
That's so interesting, Frederick. So let's talk about a use case, maybe of a company that you've been helping to do their international expansion, if you like. If you remember, of course.
Yeah.
Is there any use cases that you know, some business cases
We help
that you
a
can
lot,
share?
and I know that Friday we are recording a case with Hi-Fi Klubben here in Denmark. They are presenting in many different countries, and we help them in, I can't remember how many countries, but that's a big international case.
Yeah.
Where we look at all the competitors for them in the whole market, and also use the tool to expand. I can't remember if they already have done it or it's just talking that they need to know it, but they work in it right now and know how to use the data to get the complete overview, because they have a lot of user in the system right now.
Really nice. Do you have any other examples? I don't know, from I'm curious about that, what you said, like we can help, because yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's the CEO of a major chocolate brand in Brazil. And they are very different, because the differentiation is that they are, they have a purpose behind, they respect Amazon, and they plan stuff and so on, and they want to come to Europe, because there's a market, being to bar sort of thing, and so they want to understand pricing, and we were discussing about if they should be on Amazon or not. So do you integrate with marketplaces? That's where you extract the information?
Yes, exactly. We does. So we have clients. I cannot, specific tell how they use the system, but we help brands like Bosch and Grohe, and help Eva Sola and Stelton, that is brands here in Denmark, home products. And what we can do is that we can, of course, show where are they sold, how many resellers do they have in Denmark and maybe in Germany, and see all the resellers' prices. We can also see the stock situation. We can see the price on Amazon. Maybe they found out that they are not dealing with Amazon, but they get it from a wholesaler or something like that. So we can give them the complete overview, and actually we also help them to get into more countries. So let us just say, let's just pretend that if a solo, they want to have more resellers in Germany. then they can tell us, I think that Stilton are making a really good job. Can you please provide me a list with all resellers where Stilton are getting sold? And then we can provide the list, so Evasolo can call the resellers and web shops in Germany and tell, hey, I'm calling from the company Evasolo. We are used to getting and are placed in home web shops and stores in Denmark together with Stilton. And I can see that you sell Stilton. Maybe we can do something where you also sell Evasolo. And in that way, we can provide a complete lead list of all resellers that sell a similar product. And then you can also use that pricing data on the resellers to know how they should price a similar product that they sell, maybe a glass or a wine glass or something.
That's really amazing, because your company started as a a pricing, let's say pricing company, right? A pricing,
a marketing tool,
tool, and then it evolved into like a full-blown almost software of competitive analysis tool, where you're actually providing lists and so on. So I'm actually curious to understand, from you, where do you see the company going, given that there's a lot changing, and what's happening there, Frederik?
Yeah, we right now, I think January last year, we only have clients in Denmark, and now we have clients in 13 different countries, and we have a target that we want to grow 10% of our ARR every month. So it's
aggressive, but nice.
And we definitely think that we can achieve it, and we do so much. I think we have right now 17 full-time developers, so it's around 130-40 hours coding per day to optimize the platform. So
do you have any Brazilians there? Sorry to interrupt.
No Brazilians. We have a team in Ukraine.
Right.
And so we have so much in pipeline, and we expanding all departments, our marketing departments, also our customer success, because as I told you, it's our client that have built the system. So we ask the biggest retailers, how can we help you to give you the best system you want? And we hear, we listen so much from the customer success to our clients to know what we should build. And I think that's why we have become the best solution on the market today, where we have also tried to make it so easy to use. We have some competitors that can do pretty much the same as we can at the dynamic pricing part, where you can tell that you want to beat your competitors. If you have maybe 20% in profit, then you want to be €1 or price match the competitors. But we have tried to do it so easy. So our UX design have make a really good job to just create, you don't need a developer or an IT specialist to go in and create a dynamic price rule. And I think that's the most important. That is that you can get a login, and if you want to make a very advanced price strategy, then you can do it by, we ask you some simple questions. What should your minimum profit be? Would you want to match your competitors if they have the product out of stock? If you cannot have the 20% in profit, what should we do? Should we make a new price point in the market, or do you want to match the second cheapest, and so on? It's so easy, and that's the way that I think that we have a big advantage, because everybody can jump into PriceShape and they can set up anything they need all the automatizations, so the system are working for them. And we want also to tap more into to the market. We have all performance data in PriceShape, so we have all Google Analytics data, so you can analyze where you're competitive and where you are not. And on the same product, you can see what is your performance, how many visitors do you have, what is the profit? Because if you send us the cost price and we know your sales price and your performance, then we can calculate how much profit you have on every single product. So we want to tap more into that, and also get some advertising data into the platform. So actually we want to be a control panel for a company, purchase department and e-commerce department and so on.
Fascinating. Do you think that with PriceShape, companies can allocate their marketing spend, the dollars that they're spending on Google better?
Yeah. Yes, of course, we have many use cases for that. Also, some that have turned the ROAS and optimized that will over 200%. And we work with a lot of agencies that want PriceShape to their clients, so they can get our Google feeds where they can see the price position on every single product, so they can bid higher on the tags where they know that they have the lowest price in the market, and maybe exclude their marketing budget where they are more than 20% more expensive or something. At the same time, we can see the profit. So if you are the cheapest in the market but do not earn so much money, you can also consider if you want to bid higher on those products instead of bid higher where you also have a good profit margin.
Fantastic. Frederick, I'm just going to ask you two questions. This is very nice. Thank you. So the first question I have is, I've asked this, but how do you turn pricing? I just want to pick your brain. And how do you turn pricing into competitive advantage? If you had to summarize everything that you said, how do you turn pricing for a retailer or a wholesaler into competitive advantage?
We normally tell that we have three key features. One is that if you send us your product information, your price and the GT number on the product, cost prices and so on, then we automatically find all your competitors' prices. Then we can give you the analytics tool. So the analytics tool where you can get a complete overview is one of our key features. Then we can help you to take action on the data. And we do that by you can set up different price rules that follow different brands. So one brand, you maybe want to match the cheapest competitor on the whole market. But another brand, you only want to match your top 5 biggest competitors, and have different minimum profit margins. And then you just, your prices just change up dynamically. So if you price yourself too cheap, then we raise the price. So you are not maybe 100 Danish crown or $10 cheaper than your competitors, but only need to be $1. So that's we do totally automatically. And if you have a high price but have a really high margin as well, then we will automatically match the competitor, so you will get the sales if your gross margin allows it. And then of course all competitors that there are so many competitors and web shops in the market. So no web shop, we have never seen a web shop that is more than are cheapest on more than, let us say, 40 or 50% of all their assortment. So there's so many products that we can help them to exclude from their marketing. And that's the third point, is that we can help our clients to get a complete overview. Help the clients to allocate the marketing spend whether they are competitive or not. So we are an analyzing tool, then we are a price engine, and then we are feed optimizer to the marketing department.
Nice. Last question, and then you're off my hook. For you, what's the future of pricing for e-commerce? And that's just like a crystal ball moment.
Yeah.
I have here.
If you go in and buy, a flight ticket, the prices are going up and down, like hotels also.
Yeah.
I think all prices will be dynamically, also because you can make a campaign where you have maybe 20% in a discount on your brand or on your assortment, and then I think you have 15% of your assortment where you maybe are 10% higher in price, and then you maybe have 10% where you have priced yourself lower than you should. Maybe you just want to match, but you set your price even lower. So in my eyes, if you have the data, that's a stupid and old way to price. So all the discounts, 20% and so on, that doesn't make sense for your profit. You just want to be exactly that price where you will win the customer to the highest possible profit. So I think that you just set some dynamic price rules that also is combined with your performance data. So we try to look at the conversion rate on the product and look at the competitors' prices to set the perfect price to optimize the profit. And then all e-commerce web shops prices are changing dynamically, like we see on Amazon, and a lot of big retailers are doing it where they have live prices, like hotels and the fly industry.
That's amazing. So that was Frederik Christiansen. Frederik, thank you very much for this.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos.
If people want to reach out, how can they reach PriceShape or yourself?
I can just, you can write to our info mail, or you can write directly to me, fc.priceshape.dk, and otherwise you can go into our website, PriceShape.com.
Fantastic. I'll stop recording. Thanks, Frederik.
Yeah, thank you.